A kingdom had finally been won. The battles were over. The crown now rested on David's head. But the greatest enemy had not been defeated. It was waiting inside the palace walls. Every throne is surrounded by whispers, flattery, greed, corruption. Trusted friends become ambitious officials. Faithful servants become power brokers. History teaches one brutal lesson. Most kings are not destroyed on the battlefield. They are destroyed in their own courts. Imagine David standing in the royal palace for the first time. The cheers of victory still echoed through Jerusalem, yet his eyes were fixed on something invisible. Not enemies beyond the walls, but temptation within them. And in that solemn moment, before issuing laws, before raising armies, before expanding his kingdom, David made a promise, a covenant, not with his people, but with God. Those words became what we know today as Psalm 101. Unlike many psalms born from fear or exile, Psalm 101 carries a different heartbeat. Its title simply reads, A Psalm of David. No battle is mentioned, no cave, no betrayal, no immediate crisis. Yet history quietly suggests something remarkable. Many scholars and ancient Jewish traditions believe David composed these words near the beginning of his reign over Israel. If true, this psalm was never meant to comfort a broken king. It was meant to prevent one. David had already lived a lifetime before wearing the crown. He had faced lions in lonely fields. He had defeated Goliath before 2 armies. He had survived years as a hunted fugitive while King Saul searched relentlessly for his life. He knew what corrupt leadership looked like. He had watched Saul begin as a humble servant, only to become consumed by jealousy, paranoia, and pride. David understood something terrifying. Power changes people, unless they first choose to let God change them. Psalm 101 is therefore not merely poetry. It is a king writing his own constitution. The psalm opens with surprising words, I will sing of mercy and justice. Notice the order, mercy before justice. In ancient Near East kingdoms, kings celebrated military victories. They praised conquest. They glorified strength. David chooses different words, mercy, justice. These are not political slogans. They describe God's own character. David understood that a ruler reflects whatever he worships. If he worships power, he becomes ruthless. If he worships wealth, he becomes corrupt. But if he worships God's mercy and justice, his kingdom may become a place where ordinary people can breathe safely. The next promise becomes even more personal. I will behave wisely in a perfect way. This is extraordinary. David is not asking first for loyal citizens. He is demanding integrity from himself. Leadership begins long before commands leave the king's mouth. It begins inside his own heart. Then the psalm enters its most uncomfortable section. David begins listing the people he refuses to tolerate. The liar, the slanderer, the arrogant, the proud, the deceitful. At first, this sounds harsh, but ancient kingdoms rarely collapsed because of invading armies. They collapsed because corruption quietly entered the palace. One dishonest advisor, one greedy official, one manipulative courtier. Entire nations could fall. David had witnessed Saul's court become poisoned by suspicion. He had watched innocent men die because lies reached the king's ears. He would not repeat that tragedy. Listen carefully to one remarkable line. "I will set no wicked thing before my eyes." For modern readers, this often sounds like a personal moral statement. But for an ancient king, it carried enormous political meaning. Every decision, every appointment, every judgment, every alliance began with what the king allowed himself to see. Ignore corruption, and corruption becomes government. Ignore injustice, and injustice becomes law. David understood that evil rarely arrives wearing armor. It arrives dressed as opportunity. Here, the story takes an unexpected turn because history remembers something heartbreaking. David did not keep every promise written in Psalm 101. Years later, from the rooftop of his palace, he looked where he should not have looked. He saw Bathsheba. One decision became adultery. Adultery became deception. Deception became murder. The king who once declared, "I will set no wicked thing before my eyes," failed his own standard. This painful contradiction transforms Psalm 101. It is no longer merely the declaration of a perfect king. It becomes the testimony of an imperfect one. David reminds us that knowing righteousness is not the same as living it. Even God's chosen king needed mercy as desperately as justice. Perhaps that's why this psalm still speaks today. It exposes not only political corruption, but human weakness itself. 3,000 years have passed. Empires have risen. Empires have vanished. Palaces have become ruins beneath desert sand. Yet Psalm 101 survives because its battlefield still exists. Every parent rules a small kingdom called home. Every business leader governs people. Every teacher shapes lives. Every public servant exercises influence. The questions David asked remain timeless. What kind of people will surround me? What voices will I trust? What compromises will I reject? What kind of character will I build before success arrives? Psalm 101 reminds us that integrity is never built during crisis. It is built beforehand, one quiet decision at a time. David was remembered as Israel's greatest king, not because he never failed. He failed profoundly. He stumbled where he had once vowed to stand firm. But unlike Saul, David returned. He repented. He allowed God's mercy to rebuild what his pride had broken. Psalm 101 therefore becomes more than a royal oath. It becomes an invitation to pursue integrity even while knowing we are imperfect, to seek justice without abandoning mercy, to lead ourselves before attempting to lead others. Perhaps that's why these ancient words continue to echo across 30 centuries, because every generation eventually discovers the same truth. The greatest kingdoms are not won by swords. They are built or destroyed by the character of those who rule them. And that journey always begins with a promise made in the quiet places of the heart.